Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thank you all for attending the talk about UW La Crosse. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Heather Pearson, and I'm an international admissions counselor at UW La Crosse. I have worked there now for about a year and a half, and I've been working in higher education for about 20 years. And so even though I'm fairly new to UW La Crosse, I've actually been coming to Malaysia to meet students for almost 20 years. So I have a long history of visiting Indy and working with the advisors there and working with the students. And as I was just telling people, I'm hoping that very soon I'll be able to come back and visit you in person. So starting out with the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, it's always good to start out just by looking at where we're located in the US, because there's some states that are really well known. Like when you say California or New York, everyone knows what you're talking about and where it is. But when you say Wisconsin, not everybody knows. So as you look at the map here, you can see the red circle around the state of Wisconsin. We are a northern state that's bordered by Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan. And the city of La Crosse is that red star there, right on the border between Wisconsin and Minnesota. That's our city of La Crosse. So the name of our university is pretty descriptive, University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Now, again, you probably haven't heard a lot about us, and so you might be wondering, well, where are you in relation to some of the places I have heard of? And so I think it's fun to add distances too. So you can see that some of the Midwestern cities like Madison, Minneapolis, and Chicago aren't that far away. We have easy transportation to those cities through buses, through automobile, through the regional airport. So it's really easy to get to those cities for even a weekend trip. But if you look at some of the other well-known cities like Denver, New York City, Seattle, and LA, or even into Canada, looking at Toronto, you can see we're a bit of a distance away, probably not a distance that you would drive. And so while you're at UW La Crosse and you want to get out and explore the rest of the United States, you would probably leave from our regional airport and then fly to those different locations all around the US. Our city is a mid-sized city for our region. We have about 51,000 residents in our city, and that may not seem large when you think about the populations of your cities, but for our part of Western Wisconsin, we're one of the larger cities, which means that we're a hub for business and industry, shopping, entertainment, healthcare, education. So a lot of people in surrounding communities actually come into La Crosse for those things. We are in a region known as the Coulee region, and Coulee would just refer to kind of the valleys in our region, and that population total is about 133,000. So it doesn't feel like a small town. It also doesn't feel like a large urban city. It's kind of that middle-sized city feel. I mentioned that we had a regional airport, and really the city of La Crosse is easily accessible. It's easy to get to La Crosse and it's easy to get out of La Crosse. Typically when you arrive, you'll fly into our regional airport. That's just a few kilometers from the university. And typically before that, you'll fly into Minneapolis, St. Paul International, Chicago O'Hare, or Detroit International. And then from there, there's direct flights into our regional airport. We have city and regional buses that can take you either throughout the city of La Crosse to downtown and other areas, or that take you throughout the state of Wisconsin and even into some of the other nearby states. We also have an Amtrak train station stop in La Crosse, and Amtrak train pretty much covers the whole width of the United States, and so you can take the train to go to many locations. And then within the city, we also have Uber and Lyft. And so as a student, if you're nervous about just being able to leave the university and go shopping and visit places and do the things that you'd want to do, know that transportation is really easy to come by, and so you won't be lacking anything because you don't have a car. I mentioned that we are a hub for different business and industry, and our major ones are healthcare, education, business, manufacturing, and technology. As a student, a lot of those industries will initially support you as a student. They will be the places that you go to learn, that you go to for healthcare, that you go to for shopping and dining and recreation and entertainment. But as you become more specified in your career goals, those same types of industries may become opportunities for you to get volunteer experience, to do an internship, or maybe to even line up employment after you graduate. And so we like to think that the industries in our region support you your whole time as a student. The city of La Crosse is known for its natural beauty, and I put two pictures on the screen that just highlight the two main things that we're known for with our scenic beauty. The picture on the left is the Mississippi River, so the largest river in the United States. It runs from the northern part of the United States down to the southern part, and it's on the border of the city of La Crosse. And so we have a large park there called Riverside Park that hosts farmers markets, outdoor concerts, art fairs, there's hiking trails. It's really a gathering place for people in our city. And the picture that you see here is actually of one of our well-known bridges in the area. That bridge takes you from Wisconsin over to Minnesota. So when we want to go over to the next state, we just hop on that bridge, and as we cross over, we're in another state. And you'll also see a boat there. When you come for orientation, if you start during the September intake, we take our students on a riverboat cruise. So you would be on a boat like that, and you would just go on a short cruise down the river and learn a little bit more about the history and culture of the region. The picture on the right is Grandad Bluff, and that's a large geological formation on the other side of the city. And you could walk to the top, but most of our students will take transportation and drive to the top. And when you get there, there's this overlook, and it allows you to see many, many kilometers in front of you. So as this person is looking over that overlook, they see the whole university campus, they see the residential neighborhoods, they see the downtown area. You can see the Mississippi River off in the distance, and then past that, they can see Minnesota. If they were to turn their head to the left, they would be looking south, and they would be able to see the state of Iowa. So it's a pretty amazing view. In Wisconsin, we experience all 4 seasons, and I think especially for students in Malaysia, this is kind of fun because I personally love warm weather, and so I love Malaysia weather. I know that it's typically always really hot, really humid. Sometimes it's rainier than other times, but generally it's just a warm tropical climate. So that's not the case in Wisconsin. We will have warm summers that maybe on some days might feel a little bit like Malaysia with the heat and the humidity, but most of our seasons are more mild. And so from September through early December, we'll be in our fall or autumn season. So temperatures will cool down, the trees will lose their leaves, and it's going to start to prepare for winter. Then December through March, we're going to be in our winter season. And so it's going to snow. Temperatures are going to be cold. You're going to put on your winter jacket and learn how to ski and go sledding and snowshoe and ice skate and all those fun winter activities. Then from March until June, it's going to be our spring season, and that's what we are in right now. So our snow has melted. The temperatures have been warming. It was in the high 20s today, Celsius. And things are starting to grow again. The grass is starting to grow. Some of the spring flowers are starting to come up. And so you really do get to experience that full transition of the seasons as a student in Wisconsin. So these are all great characteristics of a city, and I think that they've all contributed to La Crosse getting a ranking of the 19th best college town in America by the American Institute for Economic Research. Then within the city is the University of Wisconsin La Crosse. And so just a little bit of information about us, starting out big picture. The state of Wisconsin has 13 universities that have the title University of Wisconsin. And you might have already become familiar with some of those universities, either through the representatives visiting your campuses or just through your own research. So you might have already heard of University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire, Madison, Milwaukee, and other campuses. So we are one of 13 universities that have that title, University of Wisconsin, along with those other universities. Students will often ask me, are you the same university, or are you kind of an extension of a campus? And the truth is no. While we are all public universities in the state, we're all also independent universities. And so we do our own admission to our universities. We offer our own academic programs. The degrees that we award have our specific university name on it. And so we really do a lot of things independently. However, because we are part of a state system, there's also a lot of collaboration. So for example, I was just processing applications earlier in the week from students from Malaysia who are attending UW-Madison, but over the summer, they want to take a class through UW-La Crosse. So those credits that they take at UW-La Crosse will transfer back to UW-Madison for them. So, and our students, for example, may get accepted for a summer research program at UW-Madison. So there's a lot of just collaboration that happens within the system. So UW-La Crosse, I'm going to start out first by showing you a map, kind of a boring map, but I want you just to get a sense for the layout of the campus and really how condensed it is. So every building that you see here is a university building. The streets immediately surrounding those buildings are residential streets, and the downtown area would be probably about a 5-minute car ride or about a 15-minute walk. So you're not in the downtown area, but you're not far from it. As you look at these numbered buildings, the buildings that are a little bit more on that outer part of the campus, like building 6, 7, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, 9, buildings like that, those are dormitories. And so those would be the places where you would live as a student at UW-La Crosse. Those other buildings that are more in the center of campus, those are your academic buildings, your library, your student union, your dining facility, your recreation facility, those things that you typically need for student life, for your classes during the day, and then for dining and recreation in the evening. So generally, you start out your day in your dormitory, you come in and do all of your classroom activities, you eat, and then you go back to your dormitory. In the evening, maybe you still have some academic work to do, so you come back into campus, or maybe you're ready to go do something fun with your friends. And in that case, you might be able to just enter one of those residential streets and walk to a city park, a restaurant, a coffee shop, or another location. Or you'll be able to catch one of the city buses right on those residential streets, and the buses will take you to other locations. So that's the layout of the campus. Some information about us. We are a middle-sized campus. We have a total enrollment of about 10,500 students. And most of those students are students pursuing their bachelor's degrees just like you. So out of those students, about 9,600 are pursuing bachelor's degrees, and just over 900 are pursuing master's degrees or doctoral degrees. The reason this is important for you to consider is that since our focus is on preparing students to earn their bachelor's degrees, that's where we are putting our resources, our financial resources, our faculty and staff resources. When we develop programs, they're developed with that idea of the best experience for an undergraduate student. So you really are our focus. We want your time at UW-La Crosse to feel very personal. We have an average class size of 29 students. And what that means is your professor is going to know you by name. No hiding in the back of the classroom. They will know who you are. You're also going to get to know all of the other students in your classes. And so as you just feel comfortable around your professor and around those students, you're going to feel comfortable raising your hand and asking a question, or offering an opinion during a class discussion, or doing a group project where maybe you're presenting together. So we really want to create that integrated experience. Our students come from a lot of different areas. We have 42 of the 50 United States represented and 43 countries from around the world represented. And that does include students from Malaysia as well. A few rankings about UW-La Crosse that we like to highlight. We've been ranked the #4 best college value under $30,000 by Kiplinger's. And for us, that's actually really important. We want to offer you a high quality education, but we also want it to be affordable for you and your family. And we know that just US education in general is one of the more expensive educational options. So we try to keep it as affordable as possible. We've been ranked #3 among the top public regional universities in the Midwest by US News and World Report, and we've ranked in the top 10 for over 20 years. And so students, if you think about this, for probably the duration of your lifetime, UW-La Crosse has had a good ranking in the top 10. They've also noted us for our undergraduate research and creative projects, and that's one of our goals, is not just to have you learn through the classroom experiences, but to do hands-on research with professors and to develop other projects that help you take your area of interest and learn in an academic way outside of the classroom. We've been noted for our commitment to excellence and diversity, and we've also gotten a good ranking for the number of part-time jobs available on campus. So you probably already know this, but as an international student, you're not allowed to have a job off campus unless it's more of like an internship connected to your field of study. So when you just want to make some extra money and your American friends are working at local restaurants and coffee shops and at the mall and places like that, you can't find a job just like that. You have to keep it on campus as a visa requirement. And so it's important to know that we have a lot of on-campus jobs. If you're interested in having a job, there will be one available for you, and the jobs are in academic departments, in service areas, in food service, in the dormitories, in athletics, in recreation. There's so many different jobs available for students. We have over 100 undergraduate programs available. So these are the bachelor's degree programs you can pursue at UW-La Crosse. For each of the areas that you see listed here, for each of those majors, they typically will have some sort of an emphasis or concentration within it. So for example, if you major in biology, you typically pick an area of focus, and your area of focus might be biomedical or cellular and molecular or environmental or a lot of other ones that are offered through that program. So even within a major, you're able to specialize. So looking at the programs here, we have an AACSB accredited College of Business Administration, and you'll see most of the really popular business programs are offered within that college. We have a College of Arts, Social Sciences, and Humanities, and some of our popular majors in that college are majors like Communication Studies, English, Political Science, Psychology, and Sociology. But we also have some really unique programs like Archaeological Studies and Public Administration. Our School of Visual and Performing Arts has our Art, Music, and Theater Arts programs. The College of Science and Health has our largest major, which is biology, and other popular majors such as chemistry, computer science, mathematics, statistics with actuarial science emphasis, physics, majors like that. You'll also notice some really unique health programs there as well. Clinical laboratory science, exercise and sports science, nuclear medicine technology, radiation therapy. Those are programs that are typically training you for a very specific type of work, but you'll notice that there's less universities in the US that offer those programs. So if you read about them and think, I really want to do that, that's one of our areas of specialty. We have a School of Education that has our teacher training programs for students who want to work in the primary, middle, and secondary schools. And then in some areas where we have both a bachelor's degree program and a graduate program in a related field, we have dual degree options where students spend a certain amount of time at the university, but they leave with 2 degrees. So they spend a little bit more than a typical bachelor's degree, but they leave with both biology and physical therapy, or both statistics and applied statistics. So you can see those options there as just really good dual degree possibilities. You are not yet ready to look at graduate programs, but I just wanted to show you the master's programs that we offer here at UW-La Crosse. First of all, because you might choose to do a program where you stay with us for both your bachelor's and your master's program, but also because for some of you, you might go somewhere else for your bachelor's degree, but then when you're looking for your master's degree, maybe you get really excited about our microbiology program or software engineering program or something like that. And so, as you can see here, there are quite a few master's degrees in STEM-related fields, and we also have 2 doctoral programs, the Doctor of Physical Therapy and the Doctor of Student Affairs Administration. Students typically will live in a dormitory during their first year at UW-La Crosse. I know a question that a lot of students have when they transfer from INTI and other American degree programs is, do I have to live on campus? And the answer is, you don't have to. If you wanted to try to connect with other students to find an off-campus accommodation, or if you wanted to just do research on your own, you could do that. But my recommendation is spend that first year in a dormitory. You're going to meet a lot of other students and get really connected socially. You're also not going to have to worry about buying internet or paying utility bills or cooking your own food. Everything's just going to be provided. It makes that first year really, really easy for you. So we have 10 dormitories on campus, and you can choose to live in any of them, but we have found that 2 of them are most popular among our international students. And so every year we tell the housing office to save a certain number of rooms in those 2 dormitories because we know that that's where you're going to want to live. And those 2 dormitories are Eagle Hall and Reuter Hall. So starting out with Eagle Hall, this is our newest dormitory, so everything looks a little bit more modern than the other dormitories. It's a suite style setup. And so you can see from the diagram here, there are 2 rooms. Each of those rooms will have 3 students living in them. So it's a total of 6 students between those 2 rooms, and they're connected by a shared bathroom. So that bathroom is only used by the 6 students that live within that suite. So they're a little bit bigger than a traditional dormitory room, so you have a little bit more space. And that shared bathroom with just the other suite mates is really nice if you want a little bit of privacy in the bathroom. A traditional dormitory will have a bathroom kind of at the end of the hallway for all the students on that hall floor. And so typically, you're sharing those facilities with a lot of other students. This makes it a little bit more personal. These are some pictures of Eagle Hall, so you can both see what the rooms look like and then some of the other facilities throughout the dormitory. Every floor in Eagle Hall has a community kitchen, and so that is more than most dormitories have. So if you have an interest in storing some food in a refrigerator or doing a little bit of your own cooking, it does offer that option. The other dormitory that's really popular is Reuter Hall. This is an apartment building on campus. And so just like a typical apartment setting, each student has their own bedroom. So there's 4 students total, each with their own bedroom, and then they share the apartment facilities, the living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom. So this is a great option if you want your own room, or if you just like that idea of having kind of that more kind of private shared space. You also have your own kitchen there in your apartment building, and so if you didn't want to participate in a meal plan and really wanted just to cook your own food, you would be able to do that in the apartment building. These are some pictures of Reuter Hall. You can see what the bedroom looks like in the apartment kind of layout, and then some other facilities throughout the dormitory. We have a really good meal plan for you. We call it the Eagle Meal Plan. And with the Eagle Meal Plan, you have unlimited entry into our Whitney Center main dining room. So that's basically a large cafeteria style dining facility. And what's nice about it is there's a wide variety of food. If you want something really healthy, you want to have a rice and vegetable stir fry, you want a vegetarian or a vegan option, you want something that's low fat or low calorie, they'll always have those options. If you want more of like typical college student fare, you want a slice of pizza, you want a hamburger and fries, they're going to have that as well. There's a great salad bar where you can build your own salad. There's soups, there's desserts, there's a lot of beverages. It really is a pretty comprehensive place, and you can eat there as much as you want, as often as you want. So unlimited entry into Whitney Center. In addition to that, you get $115 that we call maroon dollars that you can use at other places on campus. So for example, there's a Starbucks on campus. Maybe you want to swing by and grab a latte on your way to class in the morning. You can swing by Starbucks and do that, and then they'll scan your card and just reduce it by the cost of your beverage. You also have 8 guest meals per month that you can use. And so say that you have a friend who's studying at UW Eau Claire or UW Madison. If they come to visit you, you can take them with you when you eat. You swipe your card and their meal is covered as well. So you get to be a really good host to your friends. We really want you to be engaged, and we want to give you a lot of support while you're at UW La Crosse. So on the support end, we have an Office of International Education and Engagement. They are the staff members who provide your immigration advising. They coordinate your orientation. They advise you. They do advocacy for international students. They also do cultural programming across campus, and often they will involve you in the cultural programming that they're doing. They're also kind of a place for international students to hang out. So maybe you have, an hour during the day in between classes and you're just looking for something to do. You might go to their office and just hang out on a couch, talk to your friends, play a game. It's really kind of that social area. We also have an academic advising center, and those are the staff members that can help you plan your schedule each semester, select your major area of study, and then your areas of emphasis and concentration. Their goal is really to help you make the decisions as you advance towards graduation. We have an access center, and that's for our students who have documented disabilities. So if you are a student with a physical disability, a learning disability, or another type of disability, they work with you to figure out what can be done to make your education attainable. There's often accommodations that can be made that help you as you work your way through your university education. We have over 200 student organizations, and this is really your chance to get involved both in terms of leadership, which looks good from a professional standpoint, but also socially to connect with students who share common interests with you. So some of the organizations have a cultural or international focus. So for example, you might join the International Student Organization, ISO. That's going to connect you with other international students and American students who want to learn about different cultures, and you're just going to plan a lot of fun activities together. You might be a student who practices a particular faith or religion, and you might want to join an organization with other students who also share those same faith beliefs. There are academic and professional student organizations where you do activities and networking with students and faculty in your major area of study, and a lot of special interest groups where you just get together with students who enjoy gaming or who enjoy martial arts or who enjoy going out and trying new food, things like that. So through these student organizations, you really have a chance to connect with other students and to take on leadership positions like being the president of the organization, the vice president, the treasurer, the secretary, and to get that leadership experience. We want you to be healthy and active while you're at UW-La Crosse, so we have a pretty large athletic program. We offer intramural sports clubs, and our athletic teams are NCAA Division III. So I like to think that's something for everybody. When you play intramurals, you pick your league depending on your level of skill and competitiveness. So if you're like me and you're not really that athletic, but you enjoy kind of being active, I would join the very basic one where we're just getting together to have fun and no one's really that good. Intramurals are everything from that to like pretty serious students who really want to win and want to be on a competitive team, but don't want to make the commitment of joining a Division III athletic team. So there's intramurals. There's also sports clubs, and those are UW-La Crosse teams that compete against other teams in the area, kind of on like a little bit more of a competitive level. So you are trying to win games against students at other schools in those same sports. And then finally, there's NCAA Division III. So Division III is not eligible for athletic scholarships. However, it's pretty competitive. And so you are trying out to be a member of the team. If the coaching staff selects you, you're a collegiate athlete, and you're competing against other Division III teams in the region, and you have opportunities for both state and national championships. UW-La Crosse actually has really great Division III athletic teams. They have won a lot of state championships and a lot of national championships, and so often being a part of one of those teams comes with a lot of pride. And then lastly, performing arts. Maybe you enjoy playing an instrument, maybe you enjoy singing and want to join a band, a choir, an orchestra. Maybe you want to be a Screaming Eagle marching band member. Or maybe you really enjoy theater or dance. All of those are available to students regardless of the major they're pursuing. So just ways to still be involved in those arts while you're pursuing your degree. Our goal in the end is to prepare you well for what you do when you leave UW-La Crosse. So our Career Services Office is going to work with you to build up your resume, to practice your interviewing skills. They're going to hold different events that just teach you different types of professional skills. Things like how to navigate a professional dinner where maybe you're being interviewed by people who are going to make the hiring decision, or maybe you're working for a company and you're taking a client out for dinner. They have seminars on professional dress and things like that, just to kind of add polish. You'll have access to a database called Handshake, which allows you to search for internships and jobs, both on campus and within the community. We will host a lot of fairs in our ballrooms that will bring different groups to campus for you to meet. And those could be graduate and professional school fairs if you're planning to pursue further education when you leave UW-La Crosse. We'll have internship fairs where you can look at the possibility of a summer internship somewhere, or maybe even a semester internship somewhere. We'll have job fairs and just a lot of other opportunities where you can interview, learn more about the opportunities, and hopefully solidify those next steps. We have a 98% placement of our students after graduation. So 98% of our students are either pursuing further education or they have secured employment. For most of our international students, that initial employment that they secure is what we call OPT. So basically, additional work experience after you graduate that is still part of your student visa. As you probably know, for most of our majors, you have 1 year of that OPT. For majors in the STEM fields, so think like science, engineering, technology, those kinds of fields, you can add an additional 2 years. So your STEM OPT can be a total of up to 3 years. And don't worry, if you're hearing about this for the first time, we will help you out with that as you get closer to graduation. And we want to welcome you when you arrive. We have two really great programs that are optional, but I strongly recommend participating in them. They are the La Crosse Friends of International Students and the Global Buddies program. So the Friends of International Students is a host friend program. You're not actually going to live with the family, you're still going to live in a dormitory, but they're going to be a family that welcomes you into their home. They invite you over for dinner and family game nights and to spend holidays with them. They really want to create that family atmosphere for you while you're at UW-La Crosse. I think they do it because they love having students in their house, but they also understand that for you, your actual family is thousands of miles away. And so you can't be with them during holidays and you can't just do the things you're used to doing with them. So they really want to give you that family experience here. The Global Buddies program connects you with a current UW-La Crosse student who's an American student. And so initially it's a great way for you to share your cultures with each other, but it also often develops into a friendship where you just realize you have things in common. And so these are two great ways when you first arrive and you're a little homesick, you're a little lonely, you haven't yet made connections yet. These start making those connections, and then through your host friend, through your global buddy, you start to meet other people and start to build up your social network here. This is one of our current Malaysian students, Sui Shi, who is actually excited for him, but sad for me, is graduating at the end of this semester. So I'm not going to see him on campus like I normally do, but he just gave us a comment about just what it has meant for him to come to UW-La Crosse and to study abroad for his major in computer science. He is currently looking for OPT work experiences and hoping that when he graduates in May, he will still stay in the United States and get some work experience. All right, let's talk about the admission process. So we have two intakes at UW-La Crosse. We have a fall September intake and a spring January intake. We are currently accepting applications for the September 2021 intake and for the January 2022 intake. So there's two terms you can apply for right now. When you apply, you complete the online application for the state of Wisconsin, which is apply.wisconsin.edu. It will list all of the campuses, and so you specifically select UW-La Crosse. You pay a $25 application fee. However, I feel like this is like an infomercial. As a special deal for watching this session, we will waive the application fee for you if you apply up until May 1st. So it is currently, for me, it is April 7th right now. For you, it is April 8th. That gives you almost a month to submit an application to UW-La Crosse for either September 2021 or January 2022 without having to pay that application fee. So I recommend doing that. Along with the application, you're going to send us copies of your secondary school graduation certificate, whatever that was for you, SPM, STP, IGCSE, UEC, O-levels, whatever it was. You'll send us a copy of that. We'll want a copy of your Indy transcript. We'll want evidence of English proficiency, and there's a lot of ways to show that. In terms of testing, you can show us a TOEFL of a 73, an IELTS of a 6.0, Duolingo English test of 100, or if you have completed ENL 101 or 102 with a grade of at least C, that will meet that requirement as well. If you complete English 102, not only does that fulfill the requirements for admission, but that also fulfills our graduation requirement for English competency, and so you won't have to take an additional English class at UW-La Crosse. The final two things that you'll submit will be proof of funding and a copy of your passport photo page. Those two items are needed to issue your immigration documents. So they're not actually required for your admission decision, but just to take those next steps. We look at each application holistically, so I look at a lot of factors about each of you, but I would say most of the students that we admit will have a CGPA of a 2.5 or higher. Typically, if your CGPA is a little bit lower, I might ask for some additional information, or I might just talk with one of the staff members who works with the American Degree Transfer Program just to learn a little bit more about your situation. I also just want to mention, I just took the picture on the left of your screen. I took it yesterday when I was on campus because it was such a beautiful day. We have an area where we highlight different international flags, and I just wanted you to see, it kind of made me smile whenever I see it, that the Malaysian flag is right at the front there. It was blowing beautifully in the wind. Something good to know, students will often ask, will you accept my subjects from INTI? And that the easy answer to that is yes. We work with INTI to transfer all of your subjects in, and we have a transfer guide that lays out the subjects you take at INTI and then how they're accepted at UW-La Crosse. What I really recommend is send me a list of the subjects that you've taken and are in the process of taking. Let me know the academic programs you're interested in. And what I can do for you is both confirm how your subjects transfer, but also make recommendations for additional subjects you can take before you transfer. So I'm always happy to work with you, but know that as you're considering UW-La Crosse, the classes that you're taking at INTI should all transfer over as either a direct equivalent to a subject that we offer or for elective credit. Looking at the estimated cost of study, I mentioned earlier that we're noted for quality education, but also at an affordable price. And so you can see tuition fees for 1 year are about $18,500. If you were to live in Eagle House, so again, that suite style dormitory, that's about $4,780. The meal plan that I showed you, the Eagle meal plan, is $2,675. The required health insurance that students have to purchase when they study in Wisconsin is $1,770. So we estimate that the total for 1 year at UW-La Crosse would be about $27,725. Roughly putting that into ringgit, about 112,000 ringgit. So in terms of university education, that is on the lower, more affordable end. However, I know that when you saw it converted into ringgit, you went, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. So we also want to give you some options to make it a little bit more affordable. First of all, we have a special scholarship for you. We have a UW-La Crosse Malaysia American Degree Transfer Program scholarship. It is worth approximately $4,400 per year. It's actually based on a percentage of the tuition that you're charged. And so if we were to increase our tuition, your scholarship would increase as well. So that's why it's not an exact amount. It will increase as tuition increases. Here's something great about it. It is guaranteed for all admitted students. So regardless of your CGPA, if we admit you to UW-La Crosse, you receive this scholarship. And it's renewable each semester that you're at UW-La Crosse. So you receive the scholarship for a total of 4 years, which for you as a transfer student is more than you would need to receive it for, but there's not really a point where it should run out as you're pursuing your bachelor's degree. So that's a guaranteed scholarship. Just by nature of coming to UW-La Crosse through a transfer program, you're receiving that scholarship. But during your first semester at UW-La Crosse, you can apply for a scholarship called iEngage. So for example, if you begin at UW-La Crosse for the September 2021 intake, during that semester, maybe in October or November, apply for the iEngage scholarship. You can hopefully then start receiving it during the spring or the January 2022 term. It's based on CGPA, so they typically look for a minimum CGPA of at least a 2.5, and they also look for a commitment to participating in cultural activities. That scholarship can be up to $2,000 per semester, and you can apply for it for multiple semesters. So that could be an additional $4,000 per year that you would receive. So you could have both the Malaysian Transfer Scholarship and the iEngage Scholarship. And then finally, you can apply for scholarships through the UW-La Crosse Foundation. Most of those scholarships are based on your academic program you're studying. So for example, if you're studying psychology, you would go to that site and search under psychology and see different scholarships that you can apply for. You can also use other search words like international, leadership, and other characteristics that might identify you, and see if scholarships come up that are looking for students with those characteristics. So a few different ways to receive financial assistance at UW-La Crosse. And then some things are free. As a university student, you have a free membership to our fitness center. It's a great state-of-the-art fitness center that has cardio equipment, free weights, a running track, a climbing wall, a swimming pool, basketball court, all sorts of other things. So great way to stay active. You have free access to our theater to watch movies on campus during the weekend. So grab some popcorn and watch movies with your friends. You have free admission to the UW-La Crosse athletic events. So cheer on the Eagle athletic teams and do that for free. You have free access to our city buses. So They'll take you all around the city and to downtown, to the mall, and other locations. We have a textbook rental program, so you're not purchasing most of your textbooks. You're just checking them out like a library book for the duration of the semester and then returning them. And throughout your time at the university, there will be other free things that pop up, different opportunities to attend events where free things are offered. UW-La Crosse is all over social media, so I recommend, whether you're on Insta or Facebook or whatever you like, follow us. It's a great way to see what's happening in the moment, both big announcements about really big news, but also some of just the day-to-day things. One that I want to highlight is the UW-La Crosse Student Ambassadors. So we actually partner with a platform called Unibuddy, and that's a platform where some of our current international students can set up profiles, and it allows them to put information about what they're doing as a student. They can blog, they can post videos, they can post photos, but it gives you a chance to chat with them as well. So right now you can see Zejia is one of our international ambassadors who's actually from Malaysia. He's from Penang, and he was a transfer student from INTI Penang, so he's also an INTI student. And so you would be able to see there that, you know, he's from Penang, he's majoring in computer science. If you clicked on read more about Zejia, you would also see more of just kind of what he's been doing on campus. And you could reach out to him and just say, tell me more about computer science. I'm thinking of pursuing that major. Or what's it like to be a Malaysian student in Wisconsin? What have been your experiences? So it's a really great way to connect one-on-one with a student. It doesn't have to just be somebody from Malaysia. You'll notice that we have Unibuddy student ambassadors from several different countries. And so pick any student you want and engage them in a conversation. All right, this has been a lot of information about UW-La Crosse, and I hope it's been informative. I hope you're excited about it and want to pursue it further. You probably also have some questions, and so a great way to ask them is, number one, to email me at hpearson@uwlax.edu, or WhatsApp me at country code 1-715-864-2644. You can also connect with me on WeChat. And if you were to use the Snapchat little UWL ghost there, that would actually take you to a form you could fill out where you could just put more information about yourself, and then I would receive that form and could respond to you then. So with that being said, I am going to stop my screen share here and come back to the group.